Hello, everybody. Now I got to try to figure out how to fix this issue with Facebook. Don't know how to do it. It's not working. So we're gonna cook some dinner. It's been a long weekend. I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff. Ready to just kind of chill and relax. I'm doing the live Twitch thing tonight. I already said I was gonna do. So we do pork chops and Brussels sprouts, and I'm excited about this because I'm really hungry. So I'm gonna start the oven for 400. If I can figure out how to do it. Then I'm going to do the pork chops, so we got an extra, here we go. I don't know how long we're doing this, 15 minutes? I think we're going to try. Yeah, so we got an extra pork chop for tomorrow, for sandwiches or for whatever. But yeah, just wanted to try to figure this out. It's so frustrating. I don't know. All right, we're still there. Anyways, like I said, we're going to do the pork chops. I've got them marinating right now. We've got balsamic vinegar. We've got, why is my brain not working? Olive oil, some soy sauce, some garlic, some onion, and some cayenne pepper and brown sugar to try to round it all the way around. How you doing, Young? Thank you. Yeah, I think I definitely have the weirdest content as far as just random people coming on it. But hopefully these are warm enough, because I know for the longest time I used to cook steaks and pork chops and everything. I would cook them, straight out of the fridge, and then realize you had to let them warm up to room temperature. So we're doing that. The oven's going. Let's see. Do Brussels sprouts, because I used to hate Brussels sprouts, but now, especially with an air fryer and whatever genetic modifications happen, they're apparently amazing. All right, so I don't even know where stuff is in this house. Cutting board. All right. I guess we can probably actually come a little closer. I think you're supposed to wash these. I don't know, though. Can I wash them in the bag? I feel like you guys would know better than I would. I think I'm just going to try to do them this way. And I had never actually prepared Brussels sprouts. Even in restaurants I worked at, we never did. But so we're going to cut them off and then cut them in half. Get the trash can over here so I don't have to make a mess. But I like the idea of it being so simple to just, have something, toss it, throw it in the air fryer, and be done. Like, yeah, this is a new option. And I went grocery shopping with somebody today because I have been so bad. I just buy a rotisserie chicken or do something really simple, and I'm trying to get to where I'm actually like treating myself like a person and making good meals and doing those things, because it's so easy to get into laziness. So we got pork chops marinating. We got Brussels sprouts, and I think I have stuff for a salad too. So I may just do like a little bit of the Brussels sprouts and then some salad. Again, just trying to prioritize, eating something healthy. I was out late both Friday and Saturday. Went to an amazing dance party last night, but it's, I think those things are sometimes, at least for me, they're just kind of like beds of insecurity, because I go there and I had a great time dancing. And that's one of the places where I feel free and good. But then I get to this kind of like young part of me, this really immature, insecure part of me who like wants to be good enough or doesn't feel like he's good enough. I don't know why. It feels like every time I enter a new environment or a new situation, go to a new place, or especially like what feels like I would have done in my 20s that I didn't get to do, it feels like I go back to that place, and it's really kind of shocking and uncomfortable. So I'm trying to have different experiences and like see myself through it. And when I do, like last night, I found myself being really insecure and like in my head and really doubting and, all that kind of childish stuff that really weighed me down, but trying to recognize it and not allow it to define me. Because for the longest time, that was exactly what I did. So after I roast them, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do another balsamic thing for these as well. I'm a big fan of the balsamic and soy sauce combination. I just think they're really good. Oh, shoot. Something about it. And I used to do that. And roasted red peppers were really good. I would roast the peppers in the oven or even on the flame so you get a little bit of char. Always really like that. I don't know how many of these. I guess I'm going to make more and pretend that I'm going to eat these tomorrow, or try to eat these tomorrow, because I know how easy it is to not. But again, it's just like I got a drawer full of snacks, and I want to eat healthy stuff, and then somebody gave me a bunch of chocolate, which was not helpful, because there went my healthy plan. But it's so easy to go out and like get something, or like I said, get a rotisserie chicken, or we've got a hibachi buffet place in here for town. It's $10 for lunch. So you go pay $10, pay $5 for a tip. You get $15 with tax for, yeah. So it's hard to not do that, and that's really not the best decision because that money could be going to something else. I just think about, I want to enjoy myself, but I also want to feel good because I know I eat all that stuff. It doesn't necessarily make me feel good, but yeah, social anxiety is not fun. Again, so this is balsamic vinegar, soy sauce, brown sugar, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, and a little bit of cayenne. But I'm thinking about the social anxiety, talking about people get through that. I saw plenty of people last night in their 40s or 50s, or because it was a really diverse crowd. Like I saw people, look like teens, all the way up to people in their 70s. And it was cool to see that, but there were people in their 40s and 50s who were still off on the sidelines in that kind of small space. And for me, when it's dancing, like that's easy. I just dance. Like there's no room for insecurity there. But like when that activity or that shared kind of experience isn't there, that's when I get insecure. Like I want to be good enough or cool enough or, whatever, those kind of childish things that I used to feel to be around a group. I want to feel like I'm valuable enough. And I don't know, that's what it comes down to. For some reason, from my childhood, I have this deep-seated belief or doubt that I'm just not good enough or I'm not worthy enough. And I think that drove most of the destructive behavior in my life because I was running away from it or struggling with it. So, I don't know. It's a process. All right. Wash these. I don't know how to do these the worst. Turmeric on the Brussels sprouts. Okay, I don't think I have those. I don't think I have turmeric. But I can try to find out. It's the things that, you take for granted or we struggle with. I don't have like a colander. I don't have the basic things that I just don't think of. But I also think about one of the things I really appreciated with the kid when they furloughed the juvenile guy that I was able to take around and take to lunch and do stuff the other day. He was honest about it. We went to a restaurant and I wanted him to go to a fancy restaurant. Like I wanted him to have an experience. Because when I got out, I had two different people who took me to nice restaurants and bought me crazy good dinners. And I was like, hey, I don't want to do this. Like, no, it's not enough. What they both said is you need to know that you're worth this. You need to know that you deserve to eat well and enjoy yourself and feel comfortable. Like that is okay. You're allowed to treat yourself because I struggle so much with that. So I wanted to have that same experience. And I love it because he looks at the menu. He's like, bro, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, what the F is this? Like, I don't know he asked what aioli was or the type of lettuce was, and I didn't know half of those answers. So I was like, hey, what do you feel comfortable with? Like, what kind of flavor? Do you want the same thing or do you want something new and different? He was like, man, I just want a burger. Can I get a burger? I was like, yeah, we got you. And he said he loved it. It was really good. The fries are amazing there. So, but yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of balsamic, soy sauce, olive oil, garlic, onion, and salt. And I think I looked at the recipe because I've never done these before, but they said the best thing to do is like just stir them like halfway through. So we will see if that's true. Cejudo versus Sterling. Cejudo. I didn't even know. I'm so out. I watched so much fight, so many fights and so much UFC inside, and I watched hardly any when I got out. I didn't even know Cejudo was coming out of retirement. Yeah, I think he is genuinely one of the best. Like they call him Triple C for a reason. That man is amazing. And I know he was training John Jones on the headlock to guillotine thing that he finished Cyril Gane with. And that was something we work on a lot in our no-gi class. So I remember when people were talking about like it was something radical, it's like, no, that's just a regular front headlock entry. And for those of you who don't love mixed martial arts, just ignore us. We're weird. But all right, so we got that. I got a little salt. Let's see. See how this goes. Do this without making a mess. It smells good. I wish there was a smell function on the camera so I could share with y'all because it really is good. All right, so we're gonna do this. I think they said to spread them out too, so I'm gonna try to spread them out evenly. All right, 375, 380. Try 15 minutes. I don't think we're gonna need all 15. And the recipe I saw had a good point. They said, like, I like them crispy if I'm going to eat them. But it said if you don't like them crispy, one of the easiest things to do is soak them in water before you put them in there, so the inside stays kind of like damp while you're cooking, so the outside gets crispy and the inside stays soft. But I like them crispy, so I'm just going to do that all the way. All right, and we've got these pork chops, which we're going to do at 400. Normally I pan sear and then stick it in the oven, but I figured today we would just try the oven because the recipe said we could do that. Gonna find my pan. gonna throw these straight on here and see how it goes. These are good thick pork chops. I've started going to these different different grocery stores that have meat on sale. I know that probably sounds like a crazy idea, but when you see something that's like a really reasonable price, like 2 giant pork chops for $7, it's like, dude, that's 2 full days of food. So sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell happened there. Yeah. So that's going. I'm gonna stick these in the oven and hopefully have some good food here in about 15 minutes. I'm hungry. It's been a long day, um, but a good one. Like I said, took a ride around. Spent some time. There's something going on in town. We had the Tom Tom Festival this week, which was all kinds of events like economic opportunity and tech and social justice and youth mentoring, things that I was really interested in. And then today they have what they call Porcello, which is a bunch of porches around this local neighborhood where the local bands play on. So you can kind of walk through the neighborhood and like just go hang out on people's porches and meet people. And that's such a big thing for me is I want I want a place that feels like home or it feels like a downtown of a small town or a community. And it's hard to find these days. Like even the downtown mall in Charlottesville, which I really like and has some good places, it's no longer that small town feel. It now feels like kind of like an industrial. I don't know how you describe it. It's just not the same thing. Yeah, hungry from Connecticut. I had a friend send me pictures earlier of I don't even know what it was, like one of the like fast food places, but the fast food place that's good, like the Bowl Foods. That was really good. Like I've been hungry ever since that. I went and got a cup of coffee and grabbed a protein bar, but I have not eaten a good meal for many hours, and I'm ready for one. But all right, so Brussels sprouts are cooking. I guess maybe we'll do a little salad too. Well, I don't really need one. I don't think so. Let's see. Spring mix. I have not. That's the problem is I buy at Costco because I'm cheap and I think I'm going to use it all, but then it like starts to wilt because I don't eat it quick enough. So I think I need to start going in halvesies on somebody at Costco with somebody because otherwise, like I said, I buy this and then by the time I actually get down to the end, it's no good anymore. One of my secrets for every salad is put blueberries on it or apples. Like there's something about fruit in a salad I just think is brilliant, and I'm grateful to the people who showed me that trick. I don't know what kind of salad dressing I have. I usually just use balsamic and oil, like olive oil, but I think I have something in here if I can find it. No, I used the last of it. Damn. It was this good like avocado mix. Whatever it was great. All right, this should be ready. So I'm gonna stick the pork chops in. Like I said, they look delicious, and we're gonna hope they are. And that should be timer. I think it's 12 minutes. I can't remember for sure. So if I mess it up, just remember I'm gonna be the one suffering. But yeah. Young, why can't you eat solid food? If you told me, I'm so sorry. My brain has been fried. But yeah, I normally do pork chops. I always try to marinate them like that. I've got a couple different recipes I use, but that's like the main one. And then usually I'll sear them and stick them in the oven. Somebody said rather than doing that, like searing them and sticking them at 350, just try putting them on at 400 and they'll end up being good. It really does feel good to cook my own food. I'm sorry, Young. The dental surgery. Well, I hope you enjoy your smoothies. I definitely eat some of those. My buddy, the Ninja Blender or whatever it is, but he lives out in California now. But he had all his stuff in a storage container in Richmond. So not long after I got out, I went up there to see him. He was like, "Hey man, come see me. Let's hang out." He took me to the storage container. He was like, "Hey man, what do you want? What do you need?" I got a printer. I got a blender. I got just all kinds of cool stuff that I actually needed, and it was really helpful. It's funny because people don't think about how useful the stuff that they don't really need can be to somebody else, especially somebody getting out of long-term incarceration, like suddenly finding housing after years, or it makes such a big difference. So I always tell people, like, your cast off pans or your cast off whatever, like those things can change somebody's life. And I love being able to connect people. We're starting to do this informal mentor resource network for people getting out. So they come in and say, "Hey, I need help with X, Y, or Z." And we can say, "Okay, cool. Like we can send you to this person for financial planning. Like we can talk to this restaurant. They're getting rid of some of their old pots and pans. And we can talk it's just cool to be able to have those networks. And I don't have all the pieces. Like there are definitely a lot more pieces I need to get. But I was just told I'm going to be on a committee for helping wraparound services for youth coming out of the juvenile detention center. I'm going to be on a steering committee for probation parole reform on a national level, which I think is really amazing. Just really cool opportunities to kind of share perspective and experience and try to drive resources and attention to places that are really needed. Because I mean, it's easy to have an academic idea, but like when you're not down on the ground, you don't really see it. And so when I talk to the guys face to face, when I talk to the juveniles and ask them what they need, it gives me a better idea of like what will actually help versus what will make somebody feel good or what will fulfill a policy goal. So, wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't think the conditions of incarceration are good or fair or just or okay, but I do think that they give us time. And especially if we have the support or the resources, or some people just have like an incredible will that to find, to find a way to make the best of that time, to allow that to really let us become a better person. And I know people that have grown just in ways I can't even describe. And most of the older guys, most of the guys have been locked up for a long time, and not all of them, because you have some knuckleheads or whatever. But these are the guys that I really admire because a lot of them didn't have that support or didn't have that guidance, but instead kind of like built themselves up out of scratch to be the guys who are helping the young guys coming in or educating them and encouraging them and mentoring them. And it's just such a positive thing to be. And when I had the opportunity, like, I didn't know what it would take to be an old head or whatever. And I don't think I was ever called that because I was still so young going in. But, after 10 years or 15 years, at what point do I have that experience to share? And it started with tutoring, which was really meaningful. And then it started being mentoring, and then it started being kind of like more wraparound stuff. And that was a really good, meaningful role for me, like being able to help other people. So it's just a cool thing. All right. Pork chops smell good. We'll see if they actually are good. I really hope so. And I'm still like wanting to dance because I had so much fun last night. Because like I said, with this social anxiety, being able to just let go and be around people that it's not about, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like some places, like some bars or restaurants or clubs or whatever, and I remember I've been in prison most of my life. I haven't been to a lot of these places. But some places are all about just like meat markets, right? Like somebody I was talking to the other day said, everybody's there with one thing on their mind. That's not how it felt last night. Like it was just people dancing together. There was no complication. It was just people enjoying themselves. And that feels really good to me because that's that kind of immediate sense of community without having to talk about it, without having to do something else. At the end, I'm getting hugs from people. They're patting me on the back. They're saying, oh man, love it. It's just, that's cool. Yeah, those are the things, like I said, I'm always looking for. All right, so we'll find out how long it takes the pork chops. Oh, I gotta shake these. Shake. How do I shake? All right. I don't feel like doing the dishes yet, so we'll just do that after dinner. Although I do have some stuff to do after that, so we'll make it go well we can. We got a little bit of salad. We're just gonna do a little bit of balsamic on that. Not worry about it. We got those. We got the pork chop. Yeah, I'm excited. I even have an oven mitt because I've been trying to do it with just you call it the rag for the longest time, but I'm gonna try to actually use my oven mitt if I can find it. If I can find it. Where the hell is it? Nope. Actually know where my oven mitt is, even though I know I have one somewhere. See, this is the problem. I know where my California cutting board is, but not my oven mitt. Ooh, here we go. I thought it was crazy because I thought these were plastic, but whatever material they're made out of, yeah, awesome. Talk about air fryer in the joint. So, Marcy Marie out of Texas, who I'm going to see again in June, who's just been such a good friend. They used to use hair dryers because when we would get hair dryers, so they would stick it in a trash bag, and they would actually use that or a paper bag, and they'd use that to cook the food like an air fryer. Like the stuff they made was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Do I prefer being alone? That's so funny because for all those years, I wanted to be alone. Like I wanted to have my space. I wanted to be away from people and things. Now I gotta admit, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to be home alone. Like one of the guys that I was talking to last night, that's what he said. He's like, man, honestly, I just don't want to go home. I just don't want to be alone right now. And that was that place where I wish I could have said that because that's exactly how I was feeling. Like I wanted to stay. I wanted to be around people. I just didn't want to be alone. Ended up driving around and walking around the city in the middle of the night and just like kind of trying to get my mind straight because I felt so insecure, so in my head, that rush of like feelings from a younger age. So 22:35 in London. Well, good evening. Thank you for staying up. It is what is it? 5:35 here in Charlottesville, Virginia, and we are making pork chops, Brussels sprouts, and a bad salad with blueberries. And then that's going to be dinner. And then I got some other stuff to do, but I just wanted to check in because I've been bad about making videos lately. It's been really hard. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just been, my mind hasn't been in the place where I can like talk about the same things, or I just get so worn down from especially highlighting, and people are sending me more and more of the kind of like the horrible stories that are out there that I think need to get coverage and people need to be able to talk about. Because sometimes that's draining. Like sometimes I just want to share like positive things. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is starting to interview people and do kind of an adversity or a second chance podcast. Because when I was out at South by Southwest, my talk was called Adversity as an Incubator, which is how the difficult things in my life shaped me into the best person that I was, but also how some people were crushed by them, how I could have been crushed by them had I not had the support and the guidance and the things that I had. And that really began to fascinate me. Like I can't stop thinking about the fact that so many people I met out there, CEOs and CTOs and venture capital people, almost everybody said, hey man, when I was 14, this happened, or when I was 16, or when I was 18. What I found was all these wildly successful people had these really kind of wild childhoods. A lot of them have done criminal things or kind of come from the wrong side of the tracks, or they just found that opportunity. Like they had this creative energy and this risk taking and this different mindset. They weren't satisfied, and they just eventually found a legitimate way to do that. And it was so interesting because it was like, okay, what keeps one person in a bad situation? What allows another person to get to the next place? And I want to try to highlight that. And I don't know that I'll be able to break it down in like a formula, but I like the idea of saying, okay, let's examine this. Let's talk about what the commonalities are. How can we find this, and what can we do to support it? Because I think about how much of a difference it could make. All right, these look pretty good to me. Well, we'll put them on the plate. I guess I don't need all of them actually, so we'll put some Tupperware somewhere. I always have trouble keeping the Tupperware and the lids together. Oh, but not this time. Literally first pick. All right. Very cool. Yeah, it's starting to look like a meal. Now we just need a pork chop. Bam. These really do look good. I'm gonna burn myself, but I want to see. Oh, that's good. Crispy. Not special. I'm going up to Pennsylvania this week to help a friend, and he likes to eat. Like he took us out to like the most amazing steakhouse I've ever been at. He just saw these kind of crazy things. So that's basically said. He was like, "Hey man, I really need some help. You can come up here. Like, I can give you a little bit of money, and I can, I can make sure you eat." And when he says that, I know that means we're gonna eat amazing food. So just happy to go help him. And I really think about being able to show up for other people and having other people show up for me has really been where I feel that sense of like connection and community. And whether it's on the dance floor or somebody needing help with, something in their house, it just feels good. Thank you. Yeah, I do my best to bring a positive spin, but I want to highlight it. I want people to know the truth that it's not easy. And I just realized I need a meat thermometer, I think. I don't think I have one. That's actually something I was really good at. Although somebody told me, and maybe you guys can verify this or not, that they basically eliminated trichinosis in America. So you don't actually have to cook pork to 165 or 170 or 180 anymore. You can cook it to 140. So people are starting to serve pork medium rare, which sounds horrifying just because I remember growing up like that was the one you never served less. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's okay. We will see. Yep. But it does feel good to be able to cook. Wish you guys could all come over for dinner. We could all, join and have fun. And then, figure something out, have a good meal. And my apartment is so disorganized. Normally every Sunday is my clean day. Like clean the showers, just do all the kind of chore stuff. What I still consider like cleaning the cell. But today, because of schedule stuff and running around, I didn't get to. I was out of the house first in the morning, so I didn't get a chance. So, okay, so 145, very cool. A cheesesteak, God. So that's the problem is even if I'm making food, when somebody starts talking about other food, I suddenly want that. We have a place over on the corner at UVA. It's a ways away, but they used to have the best cheesesteaks, and they were open till like 4 a.m. So it'd always be like, we'd be at a party when I was like 16, and we would drive over there at 2 a.m, and they'd have like one thing left and, one saucepan or whatever left, and we would just get the last cheesesteak. That was always awesome. But they ended up closing down. COVID killed so many of those businesses. It's really, really heartbreaking. All right, I may not want to do the dishes, but I got to clear stuff out of the way. But that's the other thing I like about the air fryer. It's so easy to clean up because, when you're doing pots and pans, or I'll even do bacon in that now. I used to do bacon in there. I just throw bacon in there for 10 minutes or 12 minutes, or I can't remember what it is. Throw it on, and then when it's done, I just soak it for a minute, clean it out, wipe it out, and I'm good. It's not like cleaning the pan that's such a pain. A Paula Deen kitchen? Hey, look, I'm happy to. I'm not cooking prison food. That's all I ask. The Cheesecake Factory, yeah. You like when I go and eat ice cream? All right, so I probably do a little bit much with the ice cream. I've had ice cream multiple times. So this is the latest thing that I'm really into. Somebody turned me on to this. It's called Jenny's ice cream. It's it's ridiculously expensive, but somebody bought me this, and it's like $8 a pint. But let me tell you, if there's ever anything that's worth $8 a pint, it's this. It's delicious. Um, but it's so funny. I find myself going back to the kind of young things. Like I bought corn dogs today, and I bought Eggos. Like, man, I haven't had a waffle in 20 some years, but I was like, man, I want waffles. Like, I got a toaster. Like, it's just exciting to me. All right, let's see. How do these things look? Do this without. All right, I'm gonna do a temperature test, and then we'll be good to go. Although, like I said, I don't have a meat thermometer, so don't ask how I'm doing a temperature test. Pretend you're not seeing me get a knife to cut it open because I can't estimate. No, we need a little more time. All right, so we're going back in for maybe 5 minutes. Really does look good though. All right, 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, ice cream is good. I highly recommend it. Because like I said, I used to make such bad decisions. Like I used to do destructive things. I think about where I was last night, where I was in my head and I was ashamed. And I told somebody the story about what happened last night, where I really felt like excluded, or I recognized I had kind of like made a fool of myself and didn't know how to like. I was ashamed to even talk about the fact that I didn't act my best self, or I didn't communicate as well as I'd like to. And I recognized just how much of my life is just kind of based in shame. Like how many of those old patterns that led me to do destructive things or just be so angry or so hurt or so sad just came out of a place of shame. So I wouldn't say I was always a good cook, but I was really lucky. So my first job when I was 14 was right down the road. It was a vegetarian coffee shop in an art gallery, which was really cool in the middle of nowhere. So we never had any customers, but I learned to cook all these different things. And my stepdad was like a huge meat eater. He was never going to be a vegetarian. So we would always have meat at home and he would teach me things about that. I learned all these vegetarian dishes. So I had a kind of different idea or different experience. And then when I was 16, I got a job at a place called Escafé, which was Asian American fusion. And it was really, really good. Like every now and then we'd end up with a bad chef or a bad staff or whatever. But I went from being the cold line to the hot line to like actually running the kitchen some nights. And that just taught me all the different parts about it. I still am not really good at like putting flavors together, designing. Like those are the people I consider like really, really good cooks. But the couple things that I do, I feel like I can do fairly well. And I'm trying to do more. I did the lamb a couple weeks ago. You know, I'd never cooked lamb before, so let's try that. Yeah, just try it because that's what I think it's about. And especially, like I said, if I can keep finding discounts on meat at the grocery store, where it's like, you know, 2 steaks for $8 or $6 or 2 pork chops for $7, like, yeah, let's do it. But now I'm really hungry and really want these pork chops to come out. But my favorite dish to make, the thing that I make most consistently is probably eggs and bacon. Like I try to do eggs and bacon almost every day, or like yogurt and fruit, or do different things. Um, I do think a good pork chop, like if it's got a good fat content, is one of my favorite things. So I'm really looking forward to these tonight. I don't know. I do a lot of stir fry if I'm prep cooking just because it's easy. I'll just get like rice or cauliflower rice, chicken, veggies, and just like prep it out into like 5 days worth of food. But I'm trying to, what I find is like if you see, I've got apples and bananas, and I'm trying to do the whole visual thing where like you put food where you're going to see it. So rather than thinking about like, oh, I need some ice cream, I'll just see a banana. But man, it's hard. Sometimes I just want ice cream. And same thing with, you know, kind of healthy food. Like I could go, you know, make a salad, and I usually make a salad every night, but some nights I'll be like, man, I had a salad 4 days in a row. Like I don't feel like doing that. I'm just, ugh. But so I need to balance fat, salt, and acidity. So I put a little bit of salt on the with a pork chop, a little bit of soy sauce so it has a salt, a little bit of salmic for the acidity, and hopefully enough fat on the cut. Although I think that might be why they're so cheap, is because they just didn't have much fat on them, and it just doesn't cook the same. It just doesn't taste the same unless it has a good fat content. So yeah, I'm working on it. Now, like I said, I'm really just counting on this like being done so I can actually eat it, because I'm not starving. I shouldn't say that. There are people who are starving, and I'm not one of them. But I do feel like I'm rather hungry. Yeah. 1 minute. Come on, y'all. We can make it 1 minute. Just hold our breath. I remember when I was a kid, we used to sit in to say chow hall, the cafeteria in the school, and we would have these breath holding contests. But we would all just do this and then breathe in through our nose and pretend we weren't, and be like 5 minutes. Be like, yeah, I held my breath for 5 minutes. I look back and it's like, I don't know who we thought we were fooling because we were all doing the same thing, so we had to know. But yeah, growing up a kid in the country is not necessarily the best place to develop healthy habits. I wonder if any of the kids actually did hold their breath and pass out or something. Actually, I don't even know if you can do that. Is that a myth? Can you hold your breath long? No, yeah, you definitely can because swimmers do it all the time. So, all right. All right. Definitely ready. Come on, pork chop. All right. Let's see. I'm a little worried that because they're so thick, they're not going to be ready. Oh, that. Yep, looks perfect. How do I do this without burning myself? Let you guys see. Nicely roasted pork chop. Good. And white meat. Turn this off and then stop it. Stop it. I don't even know how to turn my own oven off. I think I need to learn how to do this better. Stop. Okay, there you go. There's literally a stop button. I'm saying I don't know how to do it. Let this sit. That one will go for a sandwich or something tomorrow. I think I have, they had salmon on sale too, so I got that. So let's see. I'm going to put a little bit of balsamic on that. And then it's going to be dinner time. Maybe a little bit. Like I would put plums or some kind of fruit to balance it. We used to do that, but all right, let me know what you think. Does this look like a good meal? Feels like a good meal. All right, and I have all this stuff on the table, so don't judge me because, like I said, I haven't cleaned up today. And I'm trying to get back to using reusable bags, and I have not been very good about it, so. All right. Bad habit. I've been listening to like top pop hits in the car, so I'm singing those on nonstop. Ignore me. But, all right, well, this is dinner. I'm going to eat it. Love y'all. Take care.